1,000 miles already? What's up, riders? Old Man Ronin here. Welcome back to the channel. We've got 1,000 miles in the saddle of the 2021 Royal Enfield Meteor 350, and that means it's time for a review. Yeah, I'll tell you, if you're a frequent watcher of the channel, you know that I do not do reviews on motorcycles until after I've had at least 1,000 miles in the saddle. And guess what? It's time. So let's start with the basics. What do I really think about this motorcycle? Well, the cost factor is really attractive. I mean, you're talking about a motorcycle that that actually comes in under $5,000 manufactured suggested retail price. Now, I'm going to use American money because I really don't know the exchange rate on other places. But for under $5,000, you can get this motorcycle, and it is really cost effective, not only to buy outright, but also to maintain. Plus the fact that it has a 3-year warranty and roadside assistance. So if you start talking about a motorcycle that has pretty much everything you can desire in a cost factor and economically to maintain, this is something that's fantastic, and I think that is a big factor. But let's get into the nuts and bolts about this bike. What do I love about it, and what do I not like about it? Well, the likes are huge. This engine, this little 350 engine, or 349 cc's, will pretty much do everything that you expect it could do. It'll run me up to the highway of speeds of 70 miles an hour. I don't like to keep it there, but it'll take me up there without any problem whatsoever. If you're used to riding a smaller engine motorcycle that does have a lot of torque, you're still going to have to do a lot of downshifting on the hills, but that's not an issue. I mean, in my Sportsters, I have to downshift on some hills, so that's really a non-factor if you ask me. So the fact that it has a very fuel efficient, and we're talking in the high 70s to mid 80s in fuel economy on this thing. Depends if I'm riding single or double, and really that's not really making much of a factor. It really does a good job no matter what, and I think that's really important. So the fuel economy is really desirable now, considering the fact that we've got gas prices that are outrageous. Well, what's something else that's really attractive to me? Well, not only the fact that it gets great gas mileage, it's easy to maintain. I'll tell you what, this thing handles like a dream. I mean, the fact that I can zip around these back roads without any issue whatsoever, or some of the city roads, well, I don't really go in the city, but when I do, or if I have to, then yeah, this bike handles it perfectly. It's really nimble, and it really does well in the corners. I'm telling you. Again, it's not a sport bike. And I don't want people to get all excited about saying, well, you know, I read that this and I'm not a numbers guy. I could care two jacks about what the numbers are on this motorcycle. I'm telling you what it makes me feel, and that's what a review should be. Not standing around or reading a bunch of numbers saying, well, this has this model this and this model that. That really doesn't mean anything. The real truth of how a motorcycle is going to fit your style or your lifestyle is how it makes you feel. And I know a lot of guys, I mean, I get comments a lot on my YouTube channel here, and a lot of people are saying, my God, I love this bike. I never thought I would fall in love with a small engine in a motorcycle. And I'll tell you, that's one of the things that makes it a beauty, the fact that it's a big bike with a small engine, but yet it performs, or I should say it outperforms what it could do. So that's really, really something that I think is important. I really think that fact that it's a big bike with a little engine that performs well, handles great, gets you to and fro where you need to be, and puts those miles of smiles on your face. And I'll tell you, that's really, really what I think is exciting. And some of the factors and features that this bike has that you don't find anywhere else. And the cool factor is it's got a built-in USB port down here that you can charge your stuff. You're not going to be stranded. I like the fact that I can actually use it if I have some issues with tires. I can lug up that Airmoto, and man, I can really keep myself in good order and blow up a tire if it goes low. You know, a lot of times, if you've seen that last video about the gravel roads, even on a bike like this, if I get the gravel roads, I want to lower the air pressure so I can handle it better. But the way this thing handles into the corners, I mean, it just... Now, I've got some cold tires. We're kind of cool today, so I'm not going to go crazy on the road. I think I left it was in the 40s. And so the tires are going to be a little cool till I get them warmed up a little bit here on the road. But this thing handles superb, particularly 2-up, which surprises me. I think I mentioned in my first impressions how much this motorcycle surprised me on how well it did run and how well it did handle, more than I expected. And it's super smooth. You know, if you've ever ridden a lot of thumpers, you know, the single cylinder guys, they kind of vibrate. This one does not. I mean, you'll get some high-end vibration at really high RPM, but in the foot pegs, in the handlebars, in the seat, it's virtually nothing till you're up there over 6,000 RPM is what I'm guessing. And again, it doesn't have a tach, so I don't know. But, you know, I'm running here at 55, 60 miles an hour, and virtually no issue whatsoever. And I think that's kind of a big deal, and it runs straight and true. Now, all you guys that are they always complain about me taking my hands off the bars, but I'll tell you what, this thing here just, yeah, not a lot of motorcycles on the market can do that. And it tells you one of the other factors I think is important is the fit and finish and the craftsmanship that this motorcycle has contains. I mean, it's really well built, and like I said, it's running straight and true. That's really, who would expect it? You know, I had somebody ask me on YouTube what I could compare this to a Chinese motorcycle, and I really don't know. I've never even seen a Chinese motorcycle out here in the country. We just don't see that. But you do see Himalayans, you do see some INT 650s, you do see some Continentals, and of course, once in a great while, you'll see a Bullet or an old classic 500, but you don't, I mean, I haven't seen one of those since I left Northeast Ohio, so you don't really see too many Royal Enfields, but the ones you do see are the new ones. And I can honestly say that the old ones that I did ride back in like say before 2000, they aren't the quality of what this is. This thing here is superb. The fit and finish, the way that the motorcycle feels on the road, I'll put it up against any manufacturer in the world right now. And I think that's kind of a big statement for me, coming, you know. And again, I'm a Harley guy, a Triumph guy. I've had Nortons, I've had all the big name motorcycle brands in my garage, and I've ridden a lot of the other ones too, so I've got a lot of experience. I'll tell you what, this thing here is every bit well built as any of the motorcycles I've ever ridden in my life. That's a true fact. This thing handles and rides, and the fit and finish is as good as anything out there. And that's a big statement for $5,000 less motorcycle. Wow. Well, let me tell you about a couple things that I do not like. The rear brake is a little spongy, and I really don't know why. I don't know if it's the fact that they got it tied into the ABS the way they have it, but it's just a little spongy. I mean, it'll slow you down, but man, you got to really push that plunger. And it's exact opposite. I just showed you right there. Exact opposite of the front. When you put the front down, man, she slows down pretty quick, a lot quicker. Now, I do know that you do 60-40 in your braking, or you should at least, but the rear plunger is a little bit squishy for me. I wish it was a little bit more stout. I don't know if it's got a lot of travel. I look at the fluid levels, there's no air bubbles in it or anything like that. I think it's just a natural thing for this motorcycle to have a little bit spongy back end, and that could be in design. I'm not certain. Is it a deal breaker? There's no way. I mean, it's definitely not a deal breaker. I'm telling you guys, miles of smiles, that's what it's all about. Miles of smiles and easy peasy cruising on the ultralight Meteor 350. Yeah, I like it. You know, I had somebody ask me if I would, oh, there's a deer. That's what you got to watch out for. But you know what? I was able to slow down really, really quick when that little deer ran in front of me there. But what I was getting at was, somebody asked me the other day, said, "Ol Man Ronin, would you buy this motorcycle?" And I'll tell you what, there will be a Meteor 350 in Ol Man Ronin's garage, because I want to do so many things with this bike. I love this motorcycle. Now, I'm not going to sell any of my Harleys, but I will own one of these. And either I will own it or Iron Lady. See, the cool thing is if I can get her to buy it. I know, right? Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video today. I know it's a little bit short, but I wanted to go over, I mean, watch all my other Meteor videos. You're going to see that some of the things I really do like about the motorcycle. And of course, we talked about a couple of the negatives today too, which is the primary and only one, which is not a deal breaker, is that rear brake is a little spongy. I would like to see maybe a little less travel in the plunger to make it a little stouter, but that's really, again, like I said, not a strong deal breaker. You just have to get used to it and realize that you have to arch your toe down a little bit more than what you'd expect to do. And if you come to that realization, which it took me about 2 trips on a motorcycle to get used to that, I'm used to it now, but I kind of wish it was a little less spongy. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification button, share, and comment. You know I read all the comments and comment on as many as I possibly can. Until next time, guys, ride safe and keep her on 2 wheels, baby. And get a hold of one of these bikes. They're amazing.